Dirk, you guys really are focused at that problem of information, right. The lack of information. I mean, that's part of what you do, is trying to connect suppliers and producers and consumers and all the rest of it. So what do you use? What's your, well, I don't want you to reveal any trade secrets if you don't want to, but what's helping you to get the information you get? And how much are you coordinating with DFID and the Japanese?
First and foremost, I mean, 80% of our advisory staff is local staff. So you say Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, we work with Tanzanian advisors. In Kigali in Rwanda, we work with Rwandan advisors. I mean, you're halfway if you work with local people, because local people know what's going on locally. If you bring in European or American expatriates, they spend the first 6 months finding a house with a swimming pool and the second 6 months getting their kids into school. I'm exaggerating just a little bit, but it's, I mean, you want people to be really focused on the task. So connecting with local people and local knowledge is essential. That's what we spend a lot of time. We spend a lot of time investing in the capacity of our own staff. Then we add on, if I may say, a layer of international best practice. So we have like 25% of our staff is expatriate staff, with a mixture of sectoral knowledge, that may be education knowledge or water and sanitation knowledge, but also with knowledge about power dynamics and change dynamics. Because, I mean, the big issue in water and sanitation is not the diameter of the water main in Cotonou, Benin. The big issue in water and sanitation is how do you cut through power dynamics that prevent people that need potable water from getting potable water. So it's connect to that, to the local base, to the local people, and link that then to well, organizations like yourself with formidable experience that can really add value.
I guess I agree with everything Dirk just said except the first thing he said.
Okay. What was that?
Where he disagreed with you.
Where he disagreed, where he disagreed with me, but also what he disagreed with me about is to say that our effort to try to have the kind of collaboration and coordination is much elusive. That may be true today, but it doesn't have to be true. The world, and certainly developed countries in the world, we have done a fantastic job post-World War II with developing military alliances to accomplish security goals around the world. We have done a phenomenal job of that. I don't know why we can't have alliances built similar to NATO around development goals. And we can have standards about who joins, and you can have the standards that you painted earlier around corruption and rule of law and other kinds of things. There are many countries in the world that are underdeveloped that would meet all of those criteria who can join with us in such a kind of alliance to do extraordinary things, I think, in those countries. I think we've had a lack of vision on a grand scale about it. And what I hope as the Millennium Challenge Corporation matures and grows, which is a very good innovation, I think, by this administration, as was PEPFAR, extraordinary innovations. I hope that the next administration, whoever that may be, will build upon that and have a different vision about how we can collaborate.
You know, sorry, go ahead,
One
please.
second. I think it's important to note that this conversation that we're having this morning, the dialogue that we're having today, probably wouldn't have happened 10 years ago. And the fact that the government and the private sector and government and governments, for example, we have a joint venture agreement with DFID. In the UK, we have these private sector engagements I've talked about. The conversations we're having today probably wouldn't have happened. A company would have had, as part of their corporate social responsibility program, they would have built a school somewhere and walked away from it probably, or a clinic. That's not happening now. Pfizer's building a clinic, and X, A, B, C, D, and E is happening. There's a whole momentum which is going on. SNV and ourselves, even within the U.S. government, somewhat miraculously sometimes, we're talking to each other on how to coordinate our activities. I think things have changed. Things are moving in the right direction, and the momentum is certainly forward, I think.
But we need structure.
There needs to be some structure. Now it's one-on-one, bilateral. Let's you and I talk, let's you and I talk.
But there have been incredible attempts at structure. Look at the Millennium Development Goals. I think many of you will have heard of the Millennium Development Goals. If there's been any effort that should have brought us the structure that we were all seeking, then I think it should have been that effort. Under the coordination of the United Nations, we don't have a better international organization that could take charge of that. I think 150 or 160 heads of state have signed under all of these, the Millennium Declaration with the 8 Millennium Goals. That's how long ago? 8 years ago?
Yeah, but Dirk,
and it has not led to structure, and that's why I think it's so elusive.
Let me just say this, though, is that there's several initiatives underway to try and create a, quote, Bloomberg for development. We're working with Booz Allen Hamilton on trying to create something on that. There are companies like Voxiva that are doing some interesting things in this space. But one of the elephants in the room, frankly, well, there are two elephants in the room. One is that when we talk to some of the development agencies about it, they say that they feel like it would be onerous to actually capture all of the projects and all of the different things that they're doing, say just in the Philippines. And so that's one thing, is the information collection costs. People keep telling us that's a big challenge. And then the second challenge they keep telling us about is we want to have credit for our work. We want to be sure people know it's us that does it. And so that creates some of the barriers on this. And my thought is that having a network doesn't mean that you can't get individual credit. You know, education is such a vast field that Bayer can invest in something, and Siemens can invest in something, and GlaxoSmithKline can invest in something. It'll all be pretty different. There'll be enough needs there, but that we don't have, what we're finding is we're getting overlapping, we're getting people, and then we're getting gapping. We're getting people clumping around some issues, and then people not working on others. And that, I think, is where Robert and some of the other companies that we're talking to are feeling a little frustrated, is this clump and gap thing.
I fully take note of that. I even agree with that. But I think I think the best way to overcome these types of situations is just as with the example that you've established in Uganda, create success cases. Also in terms of information supply. Success breeds success. If you could come up with a fantastic information system that gives me insight in development efforts, even of my own organization, which is rather fragmented across 33 countries, I'd even pay you money for it. I mean, that would be wonderful.
I got 5 people here who want
to
see.
Dirk, can I ask you a question? If I went to your SNV website, could I find out exactly what you're doing in a very transparent way throughout the world?
No, I mean, not to the extent.
But you could if you came to mind. We're trying to make that effort.
No, I mean, we're serving 3,000 clients. I mean, if I would have to build a database that would be real time in terms of telling you and everyone in the room what we were doing with one client in the eastern part of Kenya and another client in the northern part of Bhutan. I mean, that would be, well, you use the word onerous. I mean, transparency in itself is not the objective. If everything is transparent, you don't see anything anymore. I mean, what is the information need that is really at the end going to add value to the mission that you...
Maximize my investment, so that I know that I don't have to put something there and I can get more bang for the buck if I put it there.